Now, we all make mistakes, of course, and sometimes it's just easier to re-record the entire track again, or just that track, not the whole song, but the whole track. If you just blew this one line, or maybe a phrase was distorted, then punching in really comes to the rescue. Now, on most recorders, you can hit play, set the track to record ready, and then press record for a moment or two to momentarily punch in, and then hit that play or record again to punch out. It's different on different recorders, but check out this video. Okay, let's do an example of dropping in a lead vocal, and we're going to screw up a few times. That's a given. And we'll do some quick punching in to kind of give you an idea of how quickly you can build a vocal. Again, I'm not the best vocalist, but this is going to have to do. Okay, here we go. You are, you're all that I need. You are, you're all that I need. I remember in the day being oh so independent. I remember how I'd say I could never fail. I was cynical. Funny now in the days, now I'll never be the same. Baby, I'm amazed by the love you gave. Finally, I can see what life really means to me. To me, all I need is you. Okay, so we'll go back. I think I screwed up around here. So I'll just hit record and then record again to get out of there. Here we go. Never fail, I was cynical. Funny now in the days since you came into my life. Now I'll never be the same. Baby, I'm amazed by the love you gave. Finally, I can see what life really means to me. To me, all I need is you. So you can hear how there's a number of parts that you can just drop in. I mean, if you like, you can really get in right on a syllable. And of course, you can use the undo as you go. I'm doing this on a propeller head record. You could easily be doing this on a hardware recorder, something like the R16 or something like that. You can see how we can get in on a really tight punch, and it's a principle. We can pretty much do the same thing whatever we're using. You might want to check your particular product in terms of what buttons you press, but it normally is record to punch in and then play to punch out. Some might have you hit record again to punch out. Just go ahead and check your manual for details. Like I said earlier, the actual method of doing this will vary from product to product. Check your manual or product-specific details, DVDs for details. But we can share some punch-in tips for you. And the number one is rehearse your punch-ins. Most products will have a rehearse function that will act like it's punching in. Basically, all it's doing is muting the playback between those punch-in and the punch-out points. This allows you to hear whether those points are good, or maybe you're cutting off a part of good stuff there. You need to adjust those guys there. Now, by the way, pretty much every non-linear recorder out there, that is the ones not recording a tape, and that's pretty much everything, right? Have an undo function so that if you really blow a punch, you can restore that track immediately back to how it was before that punch in. Now, one last tip I'll share is a huge one. You know, if you're trying to board a moving train, you kind of get yourself up to speed so that the transition is nice and smooth when you grab on. Well, the same thing goes with punches. Don't just try to go from 0 to 60, you know, basically from not playing to playing your punch in an instant. Play along or sing along with that track so that when the punch point comes in, you're already kind of up to speed. The punch will be much, much more natural. Also, choose the punch-in spot to be one where there is a kind of a manageable gap or playing in playing or singing. If it's too tight, the point is the point you want to punch in. Try punching in maybe a few beats or maybe even a measure beforehand. Back in the old tape days, if here were your punch-in points and you kind of blew it somehow, there was no undo function. Then you had to punch back here, and if you blew that, then you had to punch back here. Undo is a great way to do that, and also just give yourself a little bit of breathing room. So, you know, if maybe at the end of the line that you're singing, that's a good place to punch in. Although with some of these software guys, you can really get in there, you know, on a single word, and the undo function really helps you there. Okay, so let's look at alternate tracks or vocal comping. Have you guys seen the specs on some of these recorders where they'll say they have 8 tracks, but then they have, say, 64 virtual tracks or V tracks? What the heck is a V track, and how do we use this? Well, let's take an example of, say, one of Boss's more popular recorders, the BR600. Its specification says that it has 8 tracks, but within each track you have 8 virtual tracks. So let's explode out the very first track right here. Let's imagine we want to record a male vocal in there. We could call that, say, track 1/1, right? And then someone comes up with a bright idea, let's record a female there. So then they do that with a female. And then someone says it might even work as an instrumental. So you break out your Les Paul and you record that as well. We have done all those recordings within the first track, but here's the deal. Then when you are set up to mix all this down, you have a palette of those 3 tracks. Only one can be played back at the same time, but then you can say, you know, when everybody's sitting around, you've got a clear head and say, let's try this out as a male vocal, or let's try it as a female vocal, or maybe let's try it out as a guitar. You have all those options. So virtual tracks, or these alternate tracks, are a way to keep alternates of a track. I mean, it's not the place to place say a guitar, then bass, then drums. You want them on separate tracks, so they need to play back at the same time. But if you have an alternate idea for a specific track, maybe it was some alternate lyrics, or maybe it was on a guitar solo track where you want to try 5 different types of solos, then you could record them on all of these guys here. So hardware recorders will do that. Software recorders can do something even a little bit more interesting. Check out this video.